Namaste in Lakach, Jayom Guru. Hello again. Loving greetings to all of my dearly beloved brothers and sisters everywhere all around the world. Ganapati coming to you again from our Accurate Spiritual Center, where I wanted to come out and have a brief talk with all of my brothers and sisters and share with everyone about what our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship is doing, right? So that people know what we're up to, in case people are wondering what our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship is all about. And well, as you may know, our Awakening Consciousness Fellowship is about helping our brothers and sisters live a happier, harmonious life by communing with Source, through communing with Source, right? By establishing a deeper connection in Source. And we do this through Kriya Yoga, through our Guru Paramahansa Yogananda's teachings of Kriya Yoga. He shows us how to do that. And I have found that Kriya Yoga is the solution to all sorrow and suffering in this world. And I want to share this with all of my brothers and sisters so that everyone can be free from sorrow and suffering. Liberated from sorrow and suffering is what we call it, right? Liberation. And well, so I want everyone to know that we sincerely do want to share our Guru's sacred teachings with everyone. No one should be limited and restricted from this, so it's free to everyone. Anyone who wants to bring their life into perfect harmony, anyone who's tired of this sorrow and suffering and they're ready to do something about it, not just expect someone to do it for you, but you're ready and dedicated to do something about it, well, Kriya Yoga is going to be that solution for you, right? It shows us the way to liberate ourselves, right? It is a very deep teaching, sacred teaching, handed down from a line of God-realized masters. And so the first thing we might want to talk about or know about Kriya Yoga, well, what is Kriya Yoga? Well, our Guru defines Kriya Yoga as, well, it's just self-realization, right? And it's exactly what that is. Self-realization means knowledge of one's own soul and knowledge of that soul's oneness with the Source, with our great and wondrous Creator. Our Guru explains that self-realization is the knowing, the complete knowing in body, mind, and soul that we are one with the omnipresence of our Source, our Creator, God, where we came from, right? And that we do not have to pray that it comes to us. That we're not merely near it at all times. That actually God's omnipresence is our omnipresence. And that we are just as much part of God now as we ever will be. And that all that we have to do is to improve our knowing of this truth and live that truth. And this is what Kriya Yoga is. It very swiftly shows us how to do that. It brings that self-realization, knowing of the self, the essence within you, knowing knowing how it is part of the Source. How is it part of the Source, right? Guru's going to show you how to discover that for yourself. And Kriya Yoga is a very multifaceted teaching. It isn't something we do overnight. And our Guru guides us through it very carefully, step by step by step. And I don't want to try to come out today and talk about the whole teaching of Kriya Yoga. I'm only going to today just talk about a tiny facet of how Kriya Yoga works, right? A tiny facet of Kriya Yoga, and how is that working? What is the scientific principle behind the effective workings of our Guru's technique, right? So I'm going to talk about a few of them, right? And so today we're going to talk about just one part of a technique. How is it actually affecting the body? Well, right, because our guru tells us to sit down and settle the body, settle the mind down in order to be able to commune with Source. So today I wanted to talk about just a little idea, a small facet of our Guru's teachings about this idea of life force control technique, right? Pranayama, right? Very important thing for our life to work, right? And I wanted to talk about, well, how our Guru's beginning breathing technique, right, where, when we first sit down, how is it actually working to help us? What's it doing in the body to actually help us? Right, when we sit down, Guru says we start with a 2-part breathing exercise, right? First, our Guru guides us to sit down and do this special kind of breathing where we're breathing and counting. Then we do that for a certain period of time, certain number of breaths, right? And then we switch over to a different kind of breathing where we're breathing in and tensing up the body with energy, and then exhaling and releasing the energy and the tension and the breath. So I wanted to talk today about this tensing and relaxing part and help us understand this, how this process is actually working physically in our body to actually affect a change, right? It's a kind of a pranayama exercise because it is controlling the life force, right? And so how is it actually making an actual change in our body? We need to understand this, right? How it works. Because if we just do what we're told and we're not sure how it works, well, it's going to be more difficult for us to achieve success. When we understand it, it helps us assimilate these ideas and utilize these ideas in our life and start using them in our life fully. Here we don't do any dogma. We explain every little detail of everything we're talking about and go over it thoroughly so that we know exactly what's going on here. That's our Guru's way. So that's why I wanted to talk a little bit about this scientific principle of what's going on here and how is our Guru's technique actually helping us in the body. Right? So, as I said, Guru has us do this 2-part breathing, this double breathing with tension. It's with tension and relaxation, right? So I wanted to talk about that scientific principle behind just that part. Why is that working? What's going on? Why is Guru having us tense and relax this way in this second part of our Guru's initial settling of the body and the mind when we sit to meditate? So, as I was saying, Guru guides us that when we sit to meditate, I'm not going to talk about the whole meditation process, okay? But basically, Guru has us sit down, and when we get settled in the proper asana, well, then we do this special kind of breathing, where our Guru guides us to breathe in, counting to a certain count, hold the breath to a certain count, exhale to a certain count, a certain number of times. Then after we do that certain number of times, then we switch to a different kind of breathing technique where we're breathing in through the nose with a special kind of breathing that our Guru refers to as double breathing. And we're tensing up the body with a wave of energy moving up the body, tensing the whole body up. And then we hold that tension quite firmly. I'd say very firmly to the point of vibration, where the body's vibrating with energy just for a couple seconds, right? Not to the point of pain, but then we hold that for a couple seconds and then release that tension in that wave going down the body. So why is our Guru having us do this? What is the scientific principle behind this tensing and relaxing part of our Guru's initial part of preparing the body for meditation when we first sit to meditate? So as I said, in this second part of our breathing exercise to settle the mind and the body down, this is settling the body part down now. Well, Guru guides us to bring in the oxygen and life force and tense up the body, and a wave of energy coming up, and to hold that tension in the body. Right? To hold that tension. That's our Guru's guidance. Just hold that tension for a couple seconds. We're holding that tension, and we're holding the breath, and we're holding the life force. We're controlling the life force, and we're holding it well. When we get tensed up, we're pretty tense. Right? It could even be called intense, because you're almost shaking with vibration. And this is not to be a torture session. Right? It shouldn't be done to the point of pain. And this isn't mindless exertion either. You see, scientifically speaking, when you squeeze these muscles coming up the body and bring that energy up, we're increasing pressure as we draw that energy up in the spinal column, called intrathecal pressure. You know, when you lift something up and you kind of grunt a little when you lift it up and you're pushing against your insides a little bit? Well, when you squeeze those muscles and hold that breath, and we're not trying to turn purple or cause ourselves a stroke, right? We're squeezing and pulling up the tension and drawing it up, and we're exerting pressure all the way up even into the brain. Because at the base of the third ventricle, when that energy strikes that area, it affects the pineal gland, and it affects the crystals in the pineal gland. And when you exert a mechanical stress on those crystals, well, it makes a piezoelectric effect. It moves stress into electromagnetic energy. And it comes to a certain point where those crystals can contract and produce another stress, producing another electromagnetic field, which is creating antenna energy, like an antenna around your head, right? And the moment that energy strikes the pineal gland chakra area, when it strikes that area, as it's coming up, it's at a higher frequency. And it's going to begin to influence the chemistry of the gland in the chakra, the pineal gland chakra. You see, then the pineal gland can produce that melatonin and produce some very powerful antioxidants, anti-cancer, anti-heart disease, anti-stroke, anti-neurodegenerative, anti-inflammatory, all. And then when we're doing this breathing, we're literally kind of tweaking these molecules in a very special way to bring it to a level of a chemical that we find in hibernating animals. And why is that important? Well, because the body then goes into kind of a stasis, no drives, no sex drive, no hungers, right? The body's not bothering you anymore now, right? And well, if we're going to become cosmic beings, well, we're going to want to get beyond this limited body here, right? And so as we're doing this, we are constantly tweaking this molecule, so to speak, all the way till we find, we tweak it up to it's like in eels where we find this bioluminescent phosphorus kind of a chemical, right? The nervous system is becoming activated, higher energy, higher electrical current, and that biophosphorus luminescence creates some wonderful imageries, you know. And as we're tweaking this molecule and this technique, we get to the highest molecule of dimethyltryptamine. And then all of a sudden what's going on inside this head is way more interesting than anything that what's going on in the world. Your senses are heightened, You're in, what we call a gamma brainwave pattern, and you're processing energy. You're going dimensional. It is the door to dimensions, yes. And as we keep tweaking it, it comes to benzodimethyline, right? It's kind of like a Valium that is literally anesthetizing the analytical mind, right? It calms down the thinking brain. We can feel safe to relax, and we become relaxed yet super aware, right? That's how yogis are in Delta during this, right? They're just very relaxing. They have no fears because they kind of know everything already. See, the breath is designed to pull the mind out of the body and liberate this energy. And when that energy moves up into the brain, you see, that can even be measured. They've measured it, right? The cortex in the brain, when it's in this state of high gamma. And the whole neocortex is turned off, like it's dead, nothing, it's sedated, like in suspended animation. But the pineal gland is lit up like a Christmas tree. Beautifully, they say. And the person then is connecting to the unified field. This center of the brain connects us to time-space, right? Where there's an eternal amount of time and space, right? In the quantum, there's an infinite amount of time because we're finding time is eternal. Space is eternal. And everything's existing in the eternal now. There's no past or future. It's all now, right? This ever-changing happening now. And then when you get in this state, then what's equal to your own realization, things start being revealed to you, right? And the biggest lie we were ever told is that we're linear beings living a linear life. We're multi-dimensional beings living a multi-dimensional life. And when you open those doors of multi-dimensional realities, this whole world looks completely different, right? You don't take it all so seriously anymore, right? And, your body is, as we were saying, we were talking about electromagnetic energy. As you keep doing this, you're increasing the electromagnetic energy of your body. You're increasing the magnet of your body to draw whatever your heart desires then. So you see, so there is, I don't want to go too far, right? There is a scientific principle behind our Guru's teachings, right? And this is, what we share in our Kriya Yoga lessons, not just the technique and what, telling you what to do, but actually how these techniques actually work on this physical body as we're doing them, right? Otherwise, we'd just be doing what we're told, and that would be dogma. We don't do that here. Because you don't get very much spiritual progress doing things that way. So I didn't want to make this a long, drawn-out talk. Just wanted to briefly let everyone know that this amazing Kriya Yoga, the solution to sorrow and suffering, is available to everyone. And I promise you it is the solution to all of your sorrow and sufferings. And you don't have to just believe me. Join in and find out for yourself. Prove it for yourself. Learn and understand the scientific principles that governs and guides this universe. And be able to be in harmony with that universal principle, that universal guiding principle, so that you can live the highest life, right? And what is that? That's a life without sorrow and suffering. Challenges will always come, but we don't have to have struggle and sorrow and suffering with them. And with our Guru's guidance through Kriya Yoga, we can live that balanced, harmonious life. So if anybody would like to join in with me, just let me know. We have multiple times throughout the day and for different time zones, different people around the world, so that we can accommodate everyone everywhere. I want everyone to be free, for free. So thank you all for taking some time out to listen to this humble yogi for a few minutes, trying to simply to share our Guru's technique freely with all of my dearly beloved brothers and sisters. I see so many people suffering in the world. And I'm just trying to say the solution is here for you all whenever you're ready, right? To be dedicated to yourself, right? To be devoted to yourself, to your spiritual progress, your liberation. Because, well, the truth is no one's just going to come down out of the clouds and liberate us. But Guru shows us the way to liberate ourselves. So get a hold of me if this sounds like something you might be interested in. God bless us all. Namaste and Lakech. Jai Om Guru. See you all next time.